Good morning, everybody. So we're in a new book. It says a day to create yourself. Maje, Shabbat is a day to create yourself. Shabbat. Чтоб человек сам себя должен создать. Да. He says in an ethical will to his son, the Rambam writes like this. Rambam пишет своему сыну. Says, what should a person be arrogant about? If it is wealth, it is God who makes one prosperous. And if it is honor, does that not belong to God as well? If he takes pride in wisdom, let him understand that God can take away wisdom. Thus all people stand as equals before the Creator. He says in front of HaShem, everybody's equal. Why? You're proud that you have a lot of money? HaShem gave it to you. You're proud that you're wise? HaShem also gave you the wisdom. You're proud that you're prosperous and everything, that honor? HaShem gives honor. So he says in front of HaShem, everybody's equal. And we see here, I don't know, throughout the years, I've seen men who are very strong, especially Bet Gavril. You see them, this, that. As they become old, what happens? They're sitting in a wheelchair, like this. You know, they have no, we see that all the time, no? Strong guy becomes, Sometimes you see people with a lot of money, what happens? A little bit of problem in the market or whatever, boom, they're basically nobody. Yeah. Humility is the recognition that whatever we have comes from God alone, and that we are not superior to any other person, because our achievements are gifts from our Creator. Success can lead to arrogance. As the verse says, lest you eat and become satisfied, and you build good houses and settle, and your heart will become haughty, and you will forget the Lord your God. Yeah, that's what he says. What happens? Person, and we know, we're already in the age that we've seen people in 20 years, 30 years, right? 20 years ago, a guy was a regular guy. All of a sudden, he did a couple of cambinos. He's got a lot of money. How does he carry himself? Ты знаешь, что я такой, брат? Yeah, really? So he says, humility is very important. Why? You shouldn't go walk around like you're somebody big. Because at the end of the day, what happens? You can go right down. Very hard. It says the inclination towards arrogance is always present because human beings have God-given creative powers to harness and shape the world. The mandate to fill the earth and conquer it and rule over the fish of the sea, the birds, the sky, and everything living, and all the living things that moves on the earth. Utilize these divine powers. Humanity has created awesome civilizations and breathtaking advances in every field and endeavor. He says, why does a person have this humility? This gava. Why? Because each one of us has what's called God-given power. Meaning, we are creators, right? We have children, we can build homes, we build things. Right? Imagine all these inventions that we've built over the years. HaShem gave it to us on purpose. Why? So that we could do this. If we don't have this creativity in us, we're not going to be able to produce. We're not going to have children. We're not going to have, So he says, that was given to us. But what happens? If we're not humble, we take that and we make ourselves what? I'm God. Where's God? There is God here? Where? Show me. Here? 20, 30 years ago, he's HaShem, please. Oh God, please. Now that he has money, he has cheshbonot, right? He's thinking, I got so much money, I don't need anybody's help. Yeah? So all of a sudden, he's thinking he's God. Right? That happens a lot. Yeah? So he says,
saying that, but
he feels it. And you know what?
No. I hear people telling me.
Yeah, some people tell you in your face. Yeah, in your. I've heard it. Yeah, you're being too humble. That people don't say that. People say that outright. You hear? He says, utilize these divine powers. Humanity has created awesome civilizations, breathtaking advantages in every field of endeavor. Imagine a person like the Tesla guy. He's made rocket ships that go to the other world. You understand? He's making things that are... how do you think he thinks of himself? He's thinking he's on top of the world.
You
hear what I say? Meaning,
one of the richest
he is, right, the richest man, one of the richest men in the world. Yeah. In the world. Can you imagine? He can buy out any small country without any hesitation. You hear? So how do you feel? You feel like you're the man. Sometimes when we have $5,000-$10,000 in pocket, what do we think? What's that? Can you imagine 250 billion, $500 million in your pocket? How do you feel? And not only that, The president is in your hand. The other, people that are politicians in the world, have in your hand. You hear? And yet, these gifts can lead to arrogance or to an abuse of power, which can unleash destruction in the world. The human capacity to shape the world in accordance with our needs, wants, and ideas must be tempered by humility. I always thought to myself, Putin, Kim Jong-un, all these guys, multi-billionaires. What do you need this for? What do you need this argument for? You understand what I'm saying? It's because of this. It's because this thing hit him in the head that being a master power of one country is not enough. How long are you going to live? How long is he going to live? He's what, 60, 70? No, okay, you got what, 20 more years? What, in 20 years, who cares what's going to, NATO, Spado, this, that. Take your money, go buy some island, put women over there, put this, put that. Chill, enjoy. You don't understand how much fun he could have. Yachts and food and drinks. Invite, there's so much. What do you need this for? You know what he needs for? Gava. Arrogance. I will go down. I will die. Not me, but I'm not going to let my
ego.
I'm going to be the power. You want to take a country that was ours? Okay, but what's the big deal? What's the big deal? You have more than you're ever going to spend in your lifetime.
At this point, I'm on his side.
His side?
I'm in this point, I'm on his side.
Why?
Because I am against globalism.
Again,
I am against the lefties.
You see? Okay, at this moment, forget the lefties for a second. Forget the lefties.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, you have anything in the world you want. When you're a man like that, you have basically... Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, you're right.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. We're on video though. Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah. It says, keeping Shabbat leads us on the path of humility. On Shabbat, we suspend all creative work, all acts of dominating the world, of imposing our will on the environment, and hand these back to God. You know what he's saying? He's saying when a person keeps Shabbat, you know what he does? He says, okay, I give up. Meaning, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm a creator, I'm a leader, I'm this, I'm that. Come Shabbat, HaShem, I'm in your hands. I don't create. Why? I know, HaShem, you're the one who's powerful. I know you're the one who creates. I know you're the one who manages the world. It's not me. He says, ceasing work on Shabbat is a statement of profound humility. An acknowledgement that God is the ultimate creative power in the universe, and that our own abilities to create and shape the world are God-given. Meaning, Hashem, you gave me this power. And that's why I'm showing to you, right? When we keep Shabbat, when we keep the rules, I'm showing to you, Hashem, that you're the one that's the owner, not me. We know that the Torah defines work prohibited on Shabbat as melacha, right? He says the common word for work is avodah. Avodah is usually work. What's with this melacha? Is related to the word eved, servant, and usually refers to hard labor. Avodah means hard labor. By contrast, melacha is related to the Hebrew word of malach, which is an angel or an emissary. An angel is essentially a messenger of God. Just as God sends an angel on a mission to fulfill His will in the world, when we do melacha, we impose our will on the world through a creative act. Meaning, malacha, right? It's like an angel, agent. So he says, we come as an agent to Hashem. And we should never forget that we are agents of Hashem. Meaning, whatever we're doing here, we're doing why? Because He allowed us to do it. You hear? When we keep Shabbat, we remember that God created the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh, and acknowledge His power and mastery over the world. The word Shabbat is related to the root of the Hebrew words to judge and to place. Through ceasing our work, we place the world in the right order, justly attributing ultimate authority to God and understanding that we answer to Him. We submit our lives to God and acknowledge that our powers and abilities, our creativity, our innovations are God-given, and that we should use them to fulfill His will. You hear? Meaning through Shabbat, we're able to take all the abilities that we have, but to say, Hashem, it's you that gave it to us. And therefore, that's why we are stopping work. You hear? Can you imagine a nation, right? That comes Pesach, comes Shavuot, comes this. No telephone. When you tell people, when you answer customers, I'm sorry I didn't answer right away. It was a holiday for us. We're not allowed to use any electrical equipment and everything. They're like, what? What do you mean? You don't turn on the lights? No. You don't use the phones? No. You don't go at it. And when they hear that, they're like, wow. And some of them, they say, that's beautiful.
Some people say,
I'm
going to be Jewish.
I say, we disconnect from the world. There's nothing. I said, nothing is important to us except for. So they say, what do you do? So we go pray, we spend time with the family, we eat, we this, that. Wow, that's so beautiful. You hear? No, to them it's not understood. Why? Because by them it's 24 hours, the same garbage. You understand? But among the 39 categories of work, there is one that seems to resist our definition of melacha as creatively imposing our will on the world. It's the melacha of transferring an object from private place to a public place, and vice versa. For example, taking an object from a house into the street or from the street into the house, it's asur. So he goes, what kind of melacha is that? Yeah? And carrying an object in a public place. These forms of carrying symbolize social interactions, the relationship between people, and between the individual and society. Not carrying is thus a call to also humbly submit our social interactions to divine ethics. On Shabbat, we remember and reaffirm that God is the ultimate authority in nature and in human affairs. You hear what he's saying? He's saying one melacha is not building. It's just transferring. So what's the problem? It's also a doraita, you understand? So what's there? He says even interaction, as our rabbi, young rabbi, he just said today, right? He said, smile, be nice. People come with different packages. I don't know your package, you don't know my package. I don't know his package. I don't know his package. I don't know what goes on. I don't know how he grew up.
I don't want
You know what? No. If I knew how this individual grew up, I can say, wow, you are unbelievable. With all that you went through, you could sit here as a man and control your actions and be able to think in a human way and keep Shabbat and so on and so forth and raise a family. Do you understand what that is? We don't know what is how do you call that when people go to the army? Post-traumatic something syndrome, right? Yeah. See, we don't know that. But I just spoke to somebody who was in the army, and you don't understand. He says, before the army, I was mamash, I was a happy person. After I served he served in the two wars, Gulf War and this and that. He goes, I came back, I was completely different. I was very reserved. When everybody used to be gathering, I just wanted to be alone on the side. I was constantly, looking at people. Because over there, you're constantly thinking, where's the next bomb coming from? When is the boom comes? So that's a major, major problem in a person. Can you imagine a person like that now living a normal life? So therefore, since I don't know what your package is, and I don't know what his package is, I have to treat you as somebody who maybe is, quote unquote, in this type of a situation. That's why, as he said, you always have to look at a person positively. Look at him nicely. Yeah, he's a grouch. You're right. But is it his fault? Is it his fault? You understand? It's not his fault. He grew up like that. So therefore, we have to give him that benefit of the doubt. That's why one of the major halachot that we have is give the person benefit of the doubt. Don't look at him at like. But the chazakah is that he's a kosher person or he's a happy person. But right now you're seeing what? Chazakah that he's a grouch? There must be a reason why he's like that. But you're looking at a grouch. You understand? So that's why he's saying, one who's like grusny, yeah? And he's always like that. Says, why? Be nice to him. Give him a benefit of the doubt. You understand? Give him the thing that maybe he went through so much pain in his life that he's trying to be a normal person. Like this with the PSDC, whatever this soldier I met. Finally, two more says these two dimensions of Shabbat are reflected to in the two historic reference points that the Torah connects to Shabbat. God created the world and God freed us from Egypt. Creation reminds us that He is the source of everything, including our own creativity and achievements. The Exodus reminds us that God oversees our society and that therefore our social interactions should also be under His guidance. Both teach that we have to be humble. You understand? Imagine you were a slave and HaShem took you out of slavery. How are you supposed to deal right now? You understand? I'm saying, a person who was a slave cannot lead a normal life. Yeah? He has to completely learn how to cope with the society in a much different way. Can you imagine a child is growing up as a slave, and now you free him to the society? How is he supposed to deal with society, right? So therefore, we knowing that there are people who coming from various different backgrounds, we have to look at them in a different way. And how are we going to do that? If we ourselves are going to be humble. Why do I look at you as a grouch and you have, because and therefore I'm looking at you, you got to respect me. You understand? But if I'm humble and I don't care how you think about me, therefore I care about you. Now I'm thinking, oh, Bisken, maybe he needs some help. You know what I mean? Maybe he had a bad day. Maybe he lost money. Maybe something, right? Humility is about recognizing the intrinsic value, appreciating the preciousness and the essential equality and dignity of every person created in the image of God. It's about recognizing that whatever gifts we may have come directly from God and do not make us better than the other person, but only impose on us greater responsibility to do good in the world. Wow, you see what I'm saying? He says, just because you have everything good from HaShem, it doesn't mean you have to be like this. Navarot, he says, it now on your shoulders to be more responsible to try to help other people. You understand? Especially emotionally. If a person thinks he's emotionally, I grew up fine. My parents were good. Everybody was good. We had money. We had nothing. You don't know. When I tell people I was 3 months living outside in the street, you know what they say? What? How is that possible?
You're kidding me.
I said, yeah. He said, don't look at me as I'm like this and this. There was a point in time where I lived in a strange woman's house. You hear? And they're like, wow, how is that? And when I tell her how this strange woman took us, they're mind blasted. To be able to live with one woman who you don't know and she doesn't know you, 5 people in a 1-bedroom apartment, that she invited us because we had no place to go. That's an amazing, amazing type of thing. So it says in the letter to Ozan, the Rambam describes humility as the finest of all the character traits, and Shabbat enables us to cultivate it. Baruch Adonai Olam, amen, amen.